Is it working? Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so it looks like the stream is up, and welcome to round 13 at the Belgium Grand Prix, as we are waiting for the game to load to start our qualifying. And I am going to be your commentator in the box tonight. I am Interior Titan, as we are waiting for my co-commentator to fix something. And the real question is, who's going to be the first one out? As it looks like a Williams and Zach Sparsley will be the first one out. As we will follow him through the track, showing you around this probably mostly wild track of Belgium. It's probably one of the longest. If my memory serves me correct, this is going to be the longest race of the calendar, and for me, it's one of the hardest to remember. Just under all the breaking points, and Ron Swanson has retired. That's surprising. I have no idea if he has a poly band or not. Oh no, he crashed. Crashed in the fast left-right. Yeah, he hit the outside wall. So unlucky for Swanson, being third in the standings. He's just not gonna. Has to start in the back and hopefully make his way up to challenge Brad Hunhouse, who is in second in the Drivers' Championship. As we wait for this long outlap to be completed from Zach. I have no stats of this track because I am lazy and I should probably look up the stats for the track. Yeah, I have a professional setup here. It's just me on my iPhone watching some racing. Good job. So Spa is almost exactly 7 kilometers around the whole thing, and as Zach Barsley start his flying lap. See if he can keep it flat out here. Nice and neat, keep back end in, and he is invalidated. So looks like he keeps his car between the lines and allows himself to hopefully complete this flying lap without invalidating it. As for sure he will set purple sector 1. Good job from one of the Mercedes for getting out of the way of Mike. If you're just tuning in, welcome. You have come into the Belgium Grand Prix of BRL Tier 5. I'm hoping the title stayed. It's not showing realistic here. As Mike looks like to keep it nice and neat, hitting all the apexes that he needs to hit. And that was a questionable parking spot that Zach put his car in. I honestly don't know how to put it there, but this seems a bit dangerous. That went to the stewards. It looks like Mike has ran out of ERS coming down the long, basically left-hander through sector 3. Coming on the front stretch, opens S, and the first time 144.4. That's a lot of fours in that time. Next, I believe, will be the Red Bull of Bad Hunhouse. Will he set a faster time? He will by 2/10. Good on him. And will be one of the Mercedes. It looks like it would be Watchman if he did not invalidate. And Next would be the teammate of Bad Hunt House, Gas Smoking, but he has also invalidated. So the next one that will set a time will be Bucks in the Mercedes. Looks like he goes a little wide there, probably came late into his braking zone. Nice and neat, trying not to invalidate this lap because this track is unusually long for a Formula 1 track, and it just takes forever to come to the pits as well. So if you're probably got to come out for a banker lap for your first time out, just so you can set a time on the board and then you can push the other two. Definitely what I would do here if I was racing tonight, but I'm not. As Brooks comes to the chicane, does not look like he would set a faster time, but my faster time on 2-lap-old softs. I did not catch that. I thought he was on an in-lap. And Brooks does a 144.2, sliding right behind Bad Hunt House by, looks like, just over 200ths of a second. And looks like Watchman's on a second lap as well. Boneshaker's on his out lap, and Gas Smoking looks like to be on an in-lap, is my guess. So we'll ride on board with Watchman. As Zach the Beast sets the fastest lap of a 143.3. I'm missing everybody here. Ooh, and he invalidates it right when he exits the second. So maybe going in the pits here, or we'll turn off ERS and go for another flying lap on the same set of softs. It looks like Wavy just started his lap. That will ride with him. It looks like he will be one to set a flying lap next. Unless Books on the scene. Books invalidated, so it would be Wavy. That would be next up on the board. Wavy looks like he's keeping it pretty neat through here, trying not to get on the curves too much, or you will invalidate on this track, which I've found very frustrating. Ooh, looks like he just lost the rear end there. Probably put too much that the car can handle, and he lost it, and looks like he is retired, or it's his car to retire. So it's Wavy and Ron Swanson out. So the next one that will set a time will be Boneshaker. And Boneshaker's been showing to have blistering pace since he's entered Tier 5, so definitely expect him to be at least on the first row. It's not his track, and he just can be the slowest. You never know with these types of races. You can one race somebody the slowest on the grid, and next he's going to be 50 seconds ahead of you. As looks like the Codemasters couldn't handle the lap and glitched out a little bit, and he will finish P5. Looks like that would be a banker for mediums, because that seems slow for softs. Generally speaking, as I realize Zach the Beast is almost a second faster than Bad Hunt House and Buck. If Mike and Zach are the pushing on the softs, is Bad Hunt House and Books both thinking to go for the medium strategy? I guess we'll find out in race time, as I think Zach set a lap. And it looks like Dark Flash is on his out lap. Zach and Dark Flash have enough room, so they won't cause each other to retire. It looks like. Let me go through the real F1 roster, and it looks like Bad Hun House is on his second flying lap. He is down on his time by a 10th. As I think I may have my co-commentator. Where? Oh, come on. I haven't lost him already. He just popped up. I think he broke his router again. Oh no, there he is. Welcome. I thought I lost you again. Oh no, he's connecting. Welcome. As I've got my co-commentator, and Slingshot has also joined. So let's see if he can get a lap down, or time is expired, or if the game allows him. And Bad Hunt House hoping to improve. No, he shoots in the pit, so maybe he didn't have the time he wanted and he wants to use softs. As Entered Caesar sets a 1:44.5. And looks like Watchman is hopefully going to put a time on the board. Any time on the board is better than no time on the board. You need an invite? Watchman coming through Sector 3. Basically, it's you're putting the pedal to the metal all the way through Sector 3 besides this last chicane bit. Walks up a little bit. Comes around the final corner. Opens DRS. Has some ERS to spare. And he seems like he does put a 1:44.6 on the board. If he didn't, I'm blind. Gas Smoking is on his outlap. Dark Flash is on his flyer, but he is invalidated, so will he come into the pits? Or will he stay out and try to do another lap on these softs? And no, he will do an extra lap on these softs, so should be interesting there with Gas. And he spins coming out in turn 1, so it looks like he will have to wait for he has to go around again on the same set of softs to qualify on. So this is gonna hurt him. Those softs will not be fun to start on if he does get in within the time. As Gaspakin is on a lap, hoping to put a time on the board and not invalidating.
We'll say so far very close to the top of the quality, at least for provisional pole. First through third all have a chance of snagging pole position if they want to improve or not, with only about 3 minutes 30 seconds left. Do you see any surprised people? Maybe even, oh wait, we are missing Butters. I was about to say Butters, maybe try to go for P1, but a surprise P1 I would say would maybe be Watchman, a guy to look out for as he comes into pit road.
Yeah, Watchman and Bone Shaker's also been quiet this quali, as he's just full Sector 1, so he's probably trying to shut me up. Thank you, man, for proving me wrong. As Slingshot gets out, so it looks like Slingshot's going to be going on a last minute flyer. Looks like Gas
longest for sure. Bone Shaker's out and around.
Oof. So that's Bone Shaker's quali done, probably.
Yep, he has wing damage, and I'm very surprised he didn't just rack out right there. huge hit into the barriers, ended up spinning back across the track, but only having a little bit of wing damage. It looked like the game was kind of looking out for him, and it's into the barriers again.
Yeah, those tires are probably overheated, so he's nursing basically hot lava on those tires, trying not to slide everywhere. And Slingshot's a little bit slow to start his flyer.
I know to start his flyer, that Hunt House is on, I think, his personal best. As long as he can keep the pace up, he may be able to find the speed that he needs as Gasmo decides to retire from the session.
So that puts him P10 up, so that will keep him P10. So it looks like the bottom four is locked in.
Kind of crucial coming through the turn. Looked like he was a little bit slow and a little bit anxious to get on throttle. May have cost him a little bit of time, but he goes P2, just being out Mike Andrade.
Yeah, so that shoves him right up to the first row, which is quite nice at the start of this race, just because turn one is the hairpin. I don't think anybody would trust everybody in front of you to take that hairpin as cleanly as it's just human error.
Yep. Human error, and it's kind of, I guess, trusting that the car's going to grip up the way you want, but he's still putting a very. And it looks like everyone is pretty much locked in their position. The only person that may be on a lap right now is Books.
Slingshot's another lap here. He has his ERS turned off.
He's got quite a few laps on those soft tires. Nope, he's going right into
nice.
pits. Well, Watchman's on his out lap, but I don't know if he's going to make it. He's going to be cutting it very, very close. He's coming to the final sector now, 10 seconds left. I don't think he's going to be able to make it. Nope, not going to cross the line in time.
Maybe he Lewis Hamiltoned it.
Possibly.
Did a Lewis Hamilton?
I think he's on a lap. Yes, he may be on a lap right now. He's not finished. So he is on a lap.
So he will be our final person to set a lap here. So it should be interesting. See if he can make those top runners, or shuffle up our top runners.
Caesar in that Romeo just puts himself P4 over top of Books. So both Mercedes are on laps at the moment behind Watchman. So not entirely sure what went on there. As he's negotiating that. Now that's a very tricky turn downhill off camber, and you really got to be patient on throttle, and he has invalidated his time on exit.
Proceeds to crash in the wall. So the next one to set a lap looks like to be Mike, but Mike was behind Watchman, so I don't see how he will set a lap. So he probably had the spectator glitch where we could not see the actual time left, which is great to have in a game made in 2020. But can't hate on this game too much.
Got a little bit, and we're coming down to the final sector. Negotiates. That's just pretty easily. Could have put a little bit more exit right there. Not going to really improve. Actually goes worse. About a second and a half off. And Zach the Beast realizing that he doesn't have to push. Just kind of coasting at the moment.
Yeah, he's probably just trying to make sure he knows the track. He looks like he was not pushing at all the whole time. He's just trying to put a lap in and make sure he has the track down and has all his braking points memorized. As that will end our quali. Pretty eventful, with the start of Ron Swanson not even getting a chance to go around the track, which will probably just affect him mentally. not having any laps. So, who's your predicted race winner, and who's gonna be your predicted driver of the day?
Well, Zach the Beast starting on pole is already pretty treacherous for the rest of the field. He's been really up near the top of the standings, so he's more the one to watch out for. But my second driver that you really can't count out is going to be Watchman. He normally starts in the back, but he always seems to work his way up pretty quickly. He's always a rival for the podium, so those are going to be the two to watch today.
Yeah, I'm hoping Ron Swanson has a good recovery drive here, and just having literally crashing as soon as he got on the track is gonna affect him. But I'm hoping he does have a good race, and probably have to go for the race win. I probably have to agree with you with Zach the Beast, just because almost 5/10 up, no 5/10 up on the nearest driver. That's good. That's a very comfortable gap, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, for sure. The one other driver I would say that maybe one to look out for was the one that was the most dominant in our last race, which was Bone Shaker. Had an absolutely humongous lead over everyone else to the end of the race. Very bad or very controversial comments that the drivers were voicing at the end. But we'll see how this week is going to turn out.
Yeah, and it does seem be a bit dark. So are we going to see a rain race, or is the game teasing us?
On the weather service thing that was on the game, it said overcast and just said possible rain pot coming in. So we may be seeing rain, but with it just mainly being overcast, I doubt that we will see rain in this race. Which is not always
Yes, we do have a formation lap. Yay.
compared to last week where we were in instant green. As the Mercedes driver is out of his car, at least on my screen.
Probably wants to go on a little bike ride.
Possibly. But
As there is our predicted pit stop strategy, soft to hards or the soft mediums.
it's a soft to medium. It's more than likely going to be the strategy to go. Really, if you put the hards on here, you are going to be so far off the pace in Eau Rouge. Or Rouge leading the Radeon is going to be absolutely treacherous with those types of tires. They always seem to just not be able to hold as much traction as the softs and mediums up through there. So it's going to be interesting to see what strategies the drivers are going to pull.
We can see somebody just go soft, medium, soft, trying to have those softer tires at the end with the lighter car.
And it's just true, let's feel when the car leads to a faster lap.
And safety cars could really play a effect here too.
That is a good factor, actually. Point out. With it being overcast right now, warming up your tires is going to be very crucial, because if you try and start the line, even if the person is a few degrees warmer to the left or right of you, they're going to get better jump than you do off the line, and that can also make or break a Grand Prix sometimes.
And I'm also glad you know the names of most of these turns, because I just say this corner, that corner over there, that one's hard. So yeah, and turn one from the start is going to be very treacherous. Just roll of a dice on how everybody's going to react, how aggressive people are going to be. You just gotta hope if you turn in, there's gonna be nobody trying to pass you there.
I mean, you may see one or two dive bombs. Hopefully we don't see McLaren get launched over an Alpha. Don't need a reenactment of Fernando Alonso. As we only have 13 drivers this week, a little bit lower than normal. But we'll still get the race. It'll still be interesting. It'll still be about to the end. Everyone in here is very close on time, and everyone here really put it all on the line each week to try and win a Grand Prix. So I'll let you go ahead and call this tournament race.
As we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lights at the Belgium Grand Prix, and they are out. Looks like everybody gets a pretty even start, as it looks like one of the Mercedes already making a move on the Haas. As we come into turn 1, and looks like one of is that both Zachs are up front. William 1-2 it looks like.
Yep. Zach Barsley with an absolute massive lunge in turn 1. Got all the way up to second place, overtook the brakes a little bit. Now he's sitting fourth. Everyone making it through a Rouge. No incidents occurring through the back of the field. Everyone getting dragged off of one another all the way down the Carmel Straight. And it's going to be very tricky coming into the combs. As Mercedes getting right on the backside of Ron Swanson back in 6th place, already all the way up another 6 positions from where he started. Zach Barsley all the way up to 1st. It was actually Zach the Beast that fell all the way down to 4th.
And oh, and Zach Barsley, as we were talking about, loses it, and he's going to lose all that progress that he just made. That is unfortunate.
He was pushing the limits of the car all the way through the first lap, and it wouldn't surprise me if, with that spin, he may try to go to the hard tire in a few laps, because those softs are probably cooked. As we have another caution and a Renault off the track. It looks like it may have been wavy. No, dark flash off the track. Key drivers off.
So, yeah, lap 1 turning out to be a very difficult one for everybody out here, as Dark Flash seems like they have the same problem as Zach Barsley right now. Those tires are overcooked.
Yep, and the person that's probably laughing all the way to the bank is more than likely Bad Hunt House. He really needs to be in front of Zach the Beast. And he is in 3rd place, but every position counts for him. As he actually sets the, well, it is the second lap of the Grand Prix, but it sets the fastest time. So we push that car, trying to get a lead away. As Zach the Beast is all down 5th position, just losing spots. But it looks. Oh no!
Yeah, and Ron Swanson. Oh, he lost it. He lost in the same spot where he lost it in quali. That is. Yeah.
He lost it right at the top of Radeon. The car gets really light right as he crests over that crest. As we are under virtual safety car. What a heartbreak for Ron Swanson. Only 3 laps in the Grand Prix and sees his way out.
It's two laps. That's the bug.
Oh.
It should correct itself sooner or later.
Hopefully.
Or we're just gonna skip a lap. It looks like.
We'll try and stay on top of it the best we can.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker for Ron Swanson for being 3rd in the championship. Almost 5 points behind, basically being 5 points behind Bad Hunt House. That's gonna make him lose a whole bunch of ground that he made up last week in the Drivers' Championship.
The Drivers' Championship has really been tightening up for sure. These guys have really been putting it into their own lately in these final coming races, as we are now off a virtual safety car as we approach the chicane into the front straightaway or main straight, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it. And so
it's a small straight. The pitch straight is probably the better term for it.
And Zach the Beast trying to go around the outside of the Mercedes, goes for a cutback, doesn't get the drive out sauce that he needed. Really on the backside of that Mercedes, giving it right to the books as they go up through Radeon. Making it through there nice and easy. Zach is going to try and get the pass done. So does Caesar on the backside of Watchman. So Mercedes falling back in both positions. And both back in the 6th.
Yeah, Bone Shaker goes to the pits as well. That drops him way back, and he puts on the hards.
But I guess no one's really got to listen to what the commentator says, or...
Well, normally when they listen to us, bad things happen, so I'm pretty sure he's doing the smart thing.
Probably.
It looks like everybody is spacing out to almost a second, or going to space out to a second later, as Wavy is on the back of Slingshot.
We trying to look for a pass as they go through the double chicane.
Who loses the back end a little bit, and there goes the 3/10 he was behind Slingshot, and Slingshot now has a comfortable second gap between him and Wavy.
And further up the field, the battle for third is starting to spice up a little bit. You have both Books and Caesar all within a second of each other, kind of gaining ground on one another. Zach just outside of reach of Mike Andrade. With Watkins starting to follow up behind Caesar, who actually just sets the fastest lap of the race, the 147, so things are getting faster and the sun is actually starting to come out.
So the game was teasing us then. Okay. Gotta love it. As Books drops back away from the back, so that gives Caesar pretty much all the green light he needs to pass him, and Wavy is down. He crashed basically the same spot where Ron Swanson did.
If you're not careful going through that part of the track, we're underneath full safety car. And see him.
That will help Bone Shaker and Gas Milking to catch up to the back of the pack, and Books gets a drive-through for speeding under safety car.
Stay where he wrecked out. Very first place was the first, right on the inside at the top of Radeon. So, nobody clipped the inside of him. Would have seen more cars probably out of the Grand Prix than in it. But this could open up a really big strategy, because those that have already switched onto the hard tire kind of saw that their race was going to more than likely just be over with, so they just wanted to and last at the end. Now, what do you think would be a better call for the drivers?
Well, Bone Shaker should probably try to hop back to his original strategy and probably go into the pits, pop on some mediums, try to take those mediums as long as you can, and probably do a medium to the end here. As Bad Hunt House goes in the pits, followed by Mike, Zach, Books. It looks like we have everybody going in the pits, besides Slingshot, which I just saw he got a drive-through. Looks like Dark Flash also elected not to pit. Zach Barsley goes in the pits. Smoking comes in, and Bone Shaker stays out, so he's probably going to try to take those hards as close to the end as possible, or to the end. As wow, a lot of people decide to go in Books. Did he pull a George Russell? He did pull a George Russell. Oh my goodness. And he's out too. So that corner's looking to be very deadly today.
Yep.
Right.
Unfortunately,
You just gotta finish to get points.
That's pretty much what the field has come down to. It's just a top 10 at this point, 1 through 10. Everyone's gonna get points in this race. Now it's gonna be on the lines of how many points do you want to get? How many points do you feel you can achieve? Because now I know what everything's points position, but now you just have to push for points.
Yeah, and another question you should be asking: how much are you willing to push the people around you for the max amount of points you want? because maybe you're on the hard tire and you get passed by gas smoking starting in P10 behind all the hards. Do you just battle gas smoking, knowing you're just gonna ruin your tires and just lose everybody in front of you, or you let gas smoking by and hope just to stay in his DRS or slipstream to gain time and have those mediums to the pit again? So
It's really going to be almost a mental game at this point for the drivers, pushing one another, but you also have to try and save your equipment and be on the strategy that you need to be. Because there's 3, 4, or 5 drivers on different strategies. Some on soft, some on hard, some on mediums. Someone goes soft to medium, someone go soft medium to soft. There's so many different drivers that have different strategies. And if you're trying to battle, if you're trying too much, you're going to find yourself on strategy and costing yourself more time than you are gaining.
and something odd, Dark Flash decides to now go into the pits to hop on the mediums. So maybe you try to go to have as much life as possible in those mediums. I guess we'll never know. Definitely an odd choice, an odd time to do it.
Well, he could be, like he said, more or less getting the most out of the mediums and being on his own strategy, because he may feel that he can pass people pretty easily, or if he is within distance to everyone, underlap them.
Yeah. As this is a very painful safety car just because how long this track is. And I wonder what's going through Slingshot's head right now, being the only driver on softs and having a drive-through, so he's definitely putting that car in rich, holding down that overtake button and trying to get as far away from Caesar, Mike, Bad Hunt House, everybody behind him.
And right now, Slingshot kind of sticking to a strategy. For me, it's at least showing him up in first place. So we'll see how long he can hold off, because right behind him is a driver on a hard tire, and he's still on the soft compound. Actually, 2 drivers behind him are on the hards, and Bad Hunt House is the second on mediums. So we'll see how these guys get off the line and how they start negotiating around one another. Slingshot still staying pretty close to the safety car. I thought he would have let the safety get a little bit further ahead. But
Or no, he's gonna try to serve his drive-through.
So
That gives Caesar a green light just to go, and Bad Hunt House looked on the inside of Mike, and Mike having a better run out of turn 1.
he's different of it though. He wants Caesar to get back in front as they approach this. What is part of the trick, part of the track, is to now get to the cam straight.
As looks like Zach the Beast has passed Bad Hunt House, so Bad Hunt House struggling on those mediums. Definitely thought he would be on the attack, not the defensive here. Definitely, maybe the tires are cold, didn't put enough heat in them.
And those mediums
Or just not.
could be a little bit more worn than what he was thinking they were. With them being at lower temperatures, that definitely affects the car many different ways. The people around him on the hard tire compound are really just eating away at him. At least Zach is getting around him, and for Bad Hunt House, that is not a good sign. And he really needs to be in front of him to eat away at the points lead in the drivers' championship. But looks like Zach is just going to slowly increase that.
Looks like Bone Shaker is looking to make a move as well. And as Bad Hunt House bad luck continues as he continues to fall behind on the restart.
He's still sticking to the backside. Bone Shaker has to go through the salt. He's getting ready to head down to a Rouge. Ooh, as Zach Barkley is in the background. I don't know if you all got to see that. Got really sideways exiting a corner. We're going to follow up on board with Bad Hunt House, at least on my screen. Sticking to the back of Bone Shaker as they hit the common straight.
It looks like Bad Hunt House has a higher downforce setup than everybody around him, so just loses that little bit of time on the camel straight.
And up front, Caesar is under constant barrage from Mike and Droppy, closed into about 2/10, going through basically what we call a carousel. And he's still able to retain the lead, slowly building the gap between him and Mike Andrade, now to about 5/10 of a second. But Mike is under attack from Zach, and right behind him, Bone Shaker starting to gain on them as a whole. So the battle for first is going to start getting heated up here in the next lap or so.
Yeah, I can definitely agree, as it looks like Zach the Beast is looking to make a move on Mike. Gives him a little bump saying, hey, look, I'm behind you. You gotta speed up or I'm gonna pass you. Little NASCAR there. As we are going on to lap 9, looks like. And Bone Shaker sets fastest lap and looks on the inside of Zach. Will he have the run out of turn 1? Looks like he will, and he will make the move stick. Now he's looking in the back of Mike. Hopefully, he does get DRS, so it'll make that much harder on Zach to pass him. Zach the Beast does not want to give up P3 that easily. It looks like he has to stay behind Bone Shaker for the rest of this lap, unless Bone Shaker makes a critical mistake.
All the drivers are still pushing pretty hard on one another. As Bone Shaker, like you said, getting around Zach the Beast, now setting his sights first and second. Looks like once he put on that hard tire, his setup really came more alive. He may have been practicing a little bit more with the harder tire than versus the soft and medium. As Dark Flash gets around Watchman in the back of the field. Slingshot kind of just in his own little world at the moment. 5 seconds back.
Don't worry about Slingshot. He's been the most consistent driver in the season. I'm pretty sure he has not had one DNF, has not missed a start. He's just been having his own season.
As Dark Flash just more back to the backside of Gas Smoke and at least through the chicane. So let's up a good distance. Gonna have DRS heading down into the sauce. Slowly gaining time on Gas Smoke and from him. It's a good exit. Gonna slowly catch the draft. Gas Smoke in front of him. Let's see what happens. Oh man! Woo! That was really...
Yeah, we almost saw a sequel of what happened to his teammate there.
Good save from Dark Flash. Still stayed on the throttle, never let off. It was just able to stay within distance, but I think he just took a penalty for it. But I'd rather take a penalty than hunting the wall.
Yeah, he definitely saw his life flash before his eyes.
Nice. But besides the
I am not
puns,
proud of that.
sorry, besides the puns, he is still within a second of gas focus, so we'll keep focused on that battle. As
Bone Shaker is looking to move for P2, and oh, of course, right when
we take
looking
off
away
Dark
from the battle
Flash.
for P2, and Dark Flash goes off the. I'm sorry, Dark Flash. I sincerely apologize.
Is spicing up for second place though. Look at this 4-car train basically getting ready to go into the final chicane with Bone Shaker all over the backside of Mike. Mike defending for his life, coats to the outside, and Bone Shaker throws it up the inside. What an absolute bomber of a pass.
As we might have just saw the overtake of the league submission right there.
Not sure there was contact. No wing damage, at least on Bone Shaker on my screen, so that was probably, I'd say, millimeter perfection. Being able to kind of fake out Mike on going high and then cut him right back low. Great job from Bone Shaker, and now he's going to try and set his sights on Cedar, who's in first place.
Yeah, well, while that was all happening, Gaspoken does set the new fastest lap on the mediums, but he probably has to pit within 6 to 7 laps. We do have a little train here from Bone Shaker. Bone Shaker trying to close in that 1.7 second gap is under 1.4. Yeah, that setup's definitely coming alive with those hard tires on.
Zach Bardsley, I know he ended up having a really bad start to his race, but even though a few people are DNF, he's found back up in the 6th place. Doing really well, slowly chipping away as he runs wide. Right behind him, Gaston moves wide too.
Yeah, we just gotta stop talking like nicely about these guys. I just feel like we're setting them up to fail.
At this point, it feels like it, but Zach the Beast trying to set up Mike Andrade the same way as to go to the final chicane. Is Mike going to stay low this time? Mike goes back up high. That is the one move that he's allowed to do, keeping Zach the Beast behind him at bay as you look for a little bit of a cutback. This allowing Bad Hunt House really closing that gap.
It looks like he's gonna stomp the button into the steering wheel. Will he make a switchback? No, he just decides to stay behind Mike, going into the camel straight. Hopefully it's called that, or I'm just going to call it camel straight all this time. Looks like Zach the Beast will easily make the move on Mike with DRS, but using so much battery to do so. It looks like the top 3 of all pretty much have the same distance between each other. So it looks like besides the train behind P3, everybody else is 2 seconds, 3 seconds separated from each other.
Yeah, right now it's right in the middle of the race. I wouldn't say no one's pushing. He's trying to put in good lap times, but no one really around you. You're not really battling anybody, so you're kind of buying your own time. It's also a good thing because for those that are on soft or the mediums, they're more set towards their setup or their kind of pit strategy. But in return, you also have to think your top 3 are all on the hard tire compound. Actually, I think that's your top 4 are on the hard tire compound.
Yeah, you would be correct there.
So, those behind them, you need to push. You need to push soon because if you're not within a decent distance, or at least in front of a few of them, you're really not going to have a chance of going for the win.
Unless there's another safety car, or as I've seen, the track has gotten darker again. It could rain and force everybody onto the inters.
Well, if we do end up having rain, it is going to make this track 10 times as sketchy because a lot of these guys more than likely have dry setups underneath their car or a different type of setup. So if rain does come, you're going to see drivers tiptoeing around this track, and more than likely going to see a few drivers flip it and move it. But hopefully the rain can stay away for now. I know the comments are probably flooding, saying rain. But for how
You would be wrong. It's a ghost town in the chat.
sorry. But it needs to stay dry, in my opinion. So that way these guys can try and get the best out of their car and kind of have more of an opportunity for moves. As we're only about halfway through the race, actually a little over halfway.
Yeah, on unlucky lap 13. So, Smoking gets another 3-second penalty. So, definitely not having his race.
He's an unlucky lap 13. So hopefully nothing happens to that House as he does have the number 13 on his car. He's all over the backside of Mike Andrade. About the move. Well, he's getting there, and Zach Hartley, 6th place on the hard tire compound, is gaining time from those in front of him. This is going to put Bad Hunthouse in a very kind of odd situation on what he needs to do next. As he gets a 3-second penalty.
Yeah.
But that is one thing that we have to keep in mind, though, is penalties. Penalties can play a huge part at the end of this race on who places fair. This track is very easy to run wide at. Because we have...
Yeah, as Dark Flash
Our flash left the
is
section,
out.
but...
Oh, he's out. He crashed.
he crashed a while ago.
Say it. Oh. I only saw that he crashed now. So.
Oh, my bad. That was wavy earlier. That's my fault. That was wavy in the other one now.
That was wavy, and that was just a yellow flag.
And... you know what? Never mind. I'm kind of losing my mind up here.
Well, yeah, no, but I saw him crash. He crashed the same spot where, Swanson, Wavy, and Books did. Yeah, and now that section of the track claims another victim in Dark Flash.
And battles are starting to kind of heat up around the course, at least the battle for 4th and the battle for 1st. Starting to tighten up as well as Bone Shaker is now getting to the backside of Caesar. Gasman picks up another
3 seconds.
And right now, coming down to Radion, I've got better route to Radion, just so that way I'm pure. Looks like Buncher gets a good drive, loses a little bit of time at the top of the hill, but coming down the single straight, he's going to try and get the draft of DRS on Steve Raymond just in time, but he's not going to have enough time to make the move. But like, it's really close to see Easter. Ooh, a little bit of contact back there for 5th place. Mike and Zach Barnsley kind of bumping wheels.
Looks like no visual wing damage was caused, so bumping tires probably.
Bumping tires a little bit. Zach Barnsley was on the inside trying to make the pass, but Mike kind of held his own line and cut him a little short. As Undertaker now still staying to the backside of the Caesar, really needs to stay within a certain distance, so that way when he hits the DRS zone that's coming up, be able to have the run. Looks like he's kind of just pacing himself right behind.
Yeah, and while Bone Shaker was behind him, Zach the Beast is caught up under us, so he will have DRS on Bone Shaker. So it looks like the top 3 is gonna be a very tight battle coming into the closing stages of this race.
And then right behind him, Mike Andrade getting a little sideways, that allowing Zach Barnes to be within DRSF for him. And
Ooh, wait,
I think that may have been a little bit of rain. Possibly, not entirely sure, but we're going to have to keep an eye on it.
Oh, no. If you look on the halo of our race leader, that is rain.
Yep, rain's starting to come down. Rain's starting to come down here at the track.
And Bone Shaker dives right in. And that gives Zach the Beast the lead. That gives Zach the Beast P1 and Bad Hunt House inherits P2. Mike Andretti takes P3.
And the spin again behind. Well, both of them are ghosted.
Both have wing damage.
Oh, and Watchman just narrowly missing.
So that dropping our P1 and P2 runners all the way down to P7. So maybe an ill-advised move by Bone Shaker.
Yeah, the rain is coming down, but it doesn't look like it's coming down in bucket loads, so the track is going to drive for a few more laps. Air splash coming off of any of the cars yet either, so I'd say no one's going to really pit yet. And if the rain continues to stay like this, I really doubt if we're going to see anyone come into pit lane.
Well, Slingshot does come into the pits. Is he going to go for softs to the end just for fastest lap, or is he going to put on the inters?
He's picking inters.
Early inter. So maybe a bit early for the inters, but the rain could be a lot heavier to the drivers than we are seeing here. As the sign that the track has been has put more rain on the course than is allowed, you will see the DRS will be disabled.
DRS still enabled right now, and for Gasmokin, he's found himself up in the top 5. Depending on how many 3-second penalties he may have, may allow Watchman behind him to get around, but we don't know what penalties he has, and we don't know what penalties the person behind him has either, so we're going to end up finding that out at the end of the race. So, me bringing that up,
this should be interesting. No, make it a mystery.
Well, it is a mystery at the moment, but right now, everyone just kind of battling on track as Bad Hunt House still on the medium tire, slowly chipping away at Zach the Beast, but I really don't see Bad Hunt House being able to catch up to Zach, and if he is able to, it might be a little bit too late, as Mike Andrade and Zach Bardsley are still going to have a battle for 4th, or for tail end of the podium. Zach's still pushing to try and catch the backside of Mike. He's within a second, so look for him on the DRS should get a good drive. The rest of the field is spaced out. I still feel bad for both Caesar and Bone Shaker. Bone Shaker just taking his time and being a little bit smarter on the move or the dive on the straight. But I guess he may have seen that we weren't able to try to drive it in. And ended up just making collisions with Caesar. As
it looks like Mercedes? Or no, that looks like to be Slingshot on the inters. Having trouble on the intermediate tire on probably a dry track or a drier track.
The track is still dry. If you even look at the rain, it's not really coming down as much as it needs for it to really be wet. Might be a little bit of condensation on top of the track, but not enough to really warrant going on to the intermediates. But at this point, Slingshot is kind of here. He's going to get his 2 points regardless. So,
Slingshot still being consistent on finishing the race. Being a very consistent driver when it comes to not crashing out and trying to keep his car as clean as possible.
Zach just got a 3-second penalty, but Bad Hunt House ended up just falling off the back side of Zach tremendously. Went from a second and a half all the way down to almost all the way up to 3 seconds. entirely sure what's going on there, but oh man! I don't know if you caught in the background, but Zach Bardsley just slapped the barriers on exit. He kept it straight. He has no damage. But very lucky from him. That could have been his race done.
Yeah, don't think we caught. I don't think we could see that on stream. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm just going insane. So Bad Hunt House looks like he has hit the wall with the mediums. Probably has hit that drop-off point where those mediums are as good as dead. Maybe he's trying to wait until the intermediate tires are the faster tires, so he doesn't have to pit twice.
And out of at least the initial corners, that Barsley got really sideways on exit. That lead a huge epithet to Mike, so that may have just spilled Zach in fourth position, but we are still looking at the battle for second and third to see who's going to come out on top here. I don't know, still push to the mediums. It may be dead, but still wanting to try and get the most out of him as he can, but he is under attack from Mike Andrade.
Bone Shaker is out.
Yep, he is wrecked out.
At the end is a new place to park it.
Interesting to see what happened there. Caesar slowly went by.
Around.
And virtual safety car is out. So that kind of at least helps Bad Hunt House a little bit in the way of not being under attack from Mike.
Definitely, as
DRS is
except
enabled.
we're back under green.
DRS still enabled. And Mike Andrade all over the backside of Bad Hunt House. Looked for the inside. Almost made it a very risky move. If I were Mike, I would just not even worry about the pass. I would just stay behind Bad Hunt House. Oh, as I don't know what just happened there.
Now, he was trying to do a bump and go there, it looks like.
Yes,
as they're still going as they both go off the track there. So both drivers are probably their bloods are probably boiling right now.
It's alright, both of them racing pretty hard. Bad Hunt House never got the drive out of the chicane. Just kind of parked it on exit. I don't know if he tried to let him go or not. But this will help Zach Bardsley right back into the battle. And he's now on the backside.
Zach Bardsley has all the ERS to play with right now. When I mean he has 100% of ERS to play with.
Right now he does need to focus on getting around Bad Hunt House because the more is behind him as he gets really loose. As he remains behind Bad Hunt House, he's just allowing Mike Andrade to run away in front of him. It looks like the rain is starting to come down a little bit harder.
So that's probably going to explain a lot more of how wide Bad Hunt House is going and how drifty all these cars are looking.
Everyone getting real loose on it. Kind of put a little bit too much power down on dry tires. But
Zach Bardsley does hit the barrier there, probably what you were talking about last lap.
He's still on the backside of Bad Hunt House. As it looks like he's going to send it up the inside. Keeps it out of him.
He's going to the pits. I don't think going for the soft tires right now is a good idea just because it's so wet. Are the inners just faster? He's got smoking to go E4.
I'm not sure, but we're just going to have to see how the rest of the field is going to be. But Mike Andrade is absolutely picking away at Zach the Beast, but at the same time, Zach Zach the Beast has almost 100% ERS, but anytime he can just pull away when he wants to, which is really good as they're coming into the final of the closing laps. And Zach Bardsley is that he just wrecked at the top of Rouge, and Zach Bardsley is out of the Grand Prix. He will be finishing 8th place. As Caesar goes by him, has a little bit of ring damage. So this Grand Prix has absolutely been taking his drivers off one by one.
It's not even the whole Grand Prix, it's just this one corner, or this one section of the track that's been claiming cars.
Countless lives.
Yeah, countless lives. So that'll probably shoot Slingshot up to P7. So, not bad for somebody being a lap down and just minding his own business. Just P7, that's not a bad day in the office if you just had bad luck.
And right behind Zach the Beast is Mike Andrade, who is trying all he can to catch the backside of Zach. I really don't think he's going to be able to do a whole lot as
and DRS is disabled.
Oh, and Yep.
And I think Mike just looking harder and harder to put power down, so
for these drivers right now, you just need to finish the race. Everyone pretty much in a sealed position. The track is just getting worse and worse as we go on. Everyone's still really on dry tires.
So this is probably going to be the hardest lap of Belgium you're probably going to do.
Yep,
especially for Bad Hunt House and Gas Smoke and being on those 16-lap old mediums.
And Mike Andrade's, I don't think he's really going to be able to catch Zach the Beast. Zach is more or less pulling away, kind of in his own realm, but Mike doing all he can to try and catch him. But Zach having almost 100% ERS and can just slap overtake on whenever he wants. It's almost an unfair advantage, but he was smart. He had the lead. He didn't have to worry about it.
As he's been just chopping away, chopping his lead in half almost every corner. So this should be an interesting final sector between Mike and Beast.
But Zach the Beast has 100% ERS as he gets sideways, and Mike is right behind him.
ERS, yeah, that ERS isn't useful if you're sideways.
And Zach is defending for his life, and Mike is actually saving. He goes in over, he's trying to go past him on the inside, and Zach the Beast cuts him off.
And Mike has spun, and he's in the ground. He needs to hurry because Bad Hunt House is on a mission behind him.
And Bad Hunt House, he can go in and overtake as quick as he can. He might be able to catch Mike Andrade. I don't know if he's going to be able to, though. I think he's got too much of a gap, but unofficially, at least as of right now, Zach the Beast will be taking the victory. We'll have to see what happens at the end of the race about what went on to that one corner. And we're coming to the finish now as Mike Andrade finishes over with Bad Hunt House right behind him. And Gas can, after picking up probably 15 seconds worth of penalties, is going to be unofficially coming home in fourth. But we'll most likely see him drop to the back a little bit as Washington comes out of the final chicane to finish the race. Okay, surprising.
So this is a good showing out for the Red Bull and the constructors. P3, P4, not bad, not a bad day. Caesar being in the lead for so long, having control of basically the whole race, has basically no front wing coming around the final corner, just trying to limp his car home. Just tough race for Caesar. And Gas Smoking is the driver of the day. Look.
Yep. And there is your podium with Zach the Beast on top. Right behind him, Mike Andrade in the Haas. Went for a very possibly ambitious move. We'll end up finding out on that later with Bad Hunt House with a really needed third place. Still not enough to really get past Zach as he does. As Zach finishes ahead of him, when he's for the Bad Hunt House to start chipping away. But right now, Zach the Beast is slowly picking away and making that margin between him and Bad Hunt House larger.
Yeah, definitely. That's a shot in the foot by Bad Hunt House. As we, wow. So the top two did not have one penalty whatsoever. That's impressive. So your finishing order is Zach the Beast as a race winner, Mike, Bad Hunt House rounding out your podium, Cast Smokin', Watchman, Enter Caesar, and Slingshot gonna be your finishers, with Zach Barsley. Did Zach crash out? I'm pretty sure he crashed out, but he did finish 90% of the laps, if I remember the rule right. So that was a very, I have to say, deadly Grand Prix, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, this Grand Prix definitely took driver skill to maximum potential that they had, and it caught out quite a few drivers today. Granted, we didn't have a whole lot of drivers to start the race with, but we didn't have a lot of drivers that finished the race either. You don't like to see it, but hey, that just shows how hard this can be and how hard the track was to drive. So can't take anything away from those that wrecked out, and you can't take anything from those that finished the race either. Everyone gave it their all, everyone gave it their best, as we are slowly getting the top three into the party.
As we wait to get our last podium sitter in here. Oh, there we are. So, would you like to take our bottom half of our podium?
Gosh, man. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off with some interviews. So we're going to start off with P3, which is Bad Hunt House. Really good try today. Early in the race, it looked like you were having a pretty good race. You're up near the front for most of the day. Was there anything that you think you could have done a little bit more, and how was the ending of the race? Hunt House?
Yeah, I had a wheel problem at the beginning of the race and the end of the race. I took damage on I don't know the names of the straightaways, but after the uphill S turn on the straightaway, I took damage on the straightaway, and then that just messed me up. And then Mike was able to run me down, and Zach Bardsley almost passed me. I don't know why he went in the pits, but if he hadn't won the pits, he'd have got around me too.
I gotcha. He ended up actually going and pitting for inners. He thought it may have gotten a little bit more grip out of him, but unfortunately it was kind of short-lived. But great drive for P3 today. He really kind of kept in it all throughout the race. He really didn't move too much, which is a good thing. And once again, it at least helps you out a little bit in the Drivers' Championship and kind of keeps you in that hunt still.
Yeah, and you gotta smoking in 4th place, he had a good run too.
Yep.
The
So
Red
both the
Bulls.
Red Bulls today had a really good run. Good for you two guys on the constructor championship. So hopefully moving forward through the remainder of the races, we can still see you guys up top.
Yes, sir.
Next, we move on to P2, which is Mike Andrade. Just great job today. Good passes. I mean, you fell back a little bit in the race, but near the end, you were just getting up near the front little by little by little. And on that final lap, you got within passing distance of Zach the Beast, and you went for a move that I can't tell what was there. You can kind of take us into that ending of the race, your overall, and about the move that was trying to be made at the end. Yep. So, I mean, overall, your day was really good. It's good hearing kind of your insight on it and your kind of take on the final lap move. But I'm just really good to see you up here. Good job on P2. Could have possibly been a P1 if he saw you. So, great job today, regardless, and good job. And then finally, Zach the Beast, P1, once again, good job. I know for France, you've been keeping up the momentum pretty well. At the beginning of the race, you fell back quite a bit. I know there's contact between you and your teammate, Zach. Kind of go through that a little bit. And then from there, your race kind of was a little up and down, but near the end, you found yourself up front. And same thing, kind of take us through that last almost pass where you may or may not have seen Mike.
Yeah, to say the least, it shouldn't be P1. It should either be Mike or Caesar. No lap one, turn one incident with my teammate. I did not see that coming. Whenever I got that wing damage, I wasn't happy, to say the least. But I was able to keep up with Mike and house with my yellow damage. Pitted for wing damage on the hards, and then Caesar and Bone Shaker were battling, and then Bone Shaker, I don't know what happened to him, but he just sent it in like it was for his life. Took him and Caesar out of the win, and from there I had advantage. And then Mike caught me at a alarming rate for the last 2 to 3 laps, and on the last lap, I knew he was gonna make a move around there, but I wasn't expecting it right there. Whenever I noticed that he was on my inside, it was too late, and he was already spinning out. And I have to apologize to him because I shouldn't be the one celebrating the win. It should be Mike.
I got you. Very, very humble, even in victory, but still great job on your P1 drive today. You at least got out of trouble for the most part, except for in the beginning, but even with the pit stops, the pit, and the strategy you went on, ended up working out for you in the end. But overall, for you top 3 guys, Bad, Hunthouse, Mike, and Zach, great job today. You really were able to basically tame the track that caught out a lot of other drivers, and you were able to work you guys up into P3. So congratulations to all 3 of you today. And Tyne, you can take us out.
You're welcome.
As we will end the stream here, thank you all for tuning in to the Belgium Grand Prix of Tier 5. Make sure to tune in to tomorrow night for our Tier 2 and Tier 1 race at the same track.